SMP tours and travels.
Wano tukutana ya train Checho.
SMP tours and travels.
Uganda Easter Tour wemba njogerako nebasa etulambuza Toronto mu 6 days Easter Tour 2024 bagamba mujje mu Toronto tugende ku office bewandiise bannange obudde bugwayo tugalawo so mwewandiise nga obudde bukyali.
Babak with a K there.
Yeah, from
Germany.
I'm from Uganda.
Ah, nice. What's up? First time in Canada?
How long have you been here?
I've been here for like 3 days.
3 days. I landed here on 25. So we are both at twice. Twice from Uganda, twice from Germany, and now here at
That's the run to finish.
Easter, 6 days Canada Easter Tour 2024. Registration is going on. So yes, I was on Tuesday. I'm heading to Niagara Falls on Tuesday. I don't booking every because you know booking at confirming every program. Then next time when Bamuze, tambla. So we don't get a bus and the city Toronto. You know. Now your ticket $66 okutula wawa neekutambuza Toronto City yonna naye ebifo ebimu bye tuba tugenda okulambula nga la senta wa wonna ebyo nabyo tubisasulira ku lwabyo. Yeah, that is what we mean 6 days Canada Easter Tour 2024. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. That is the Student Learning Center. There's a reason the windows have stickers on them. It is to prevent birds from crashing into the windows. That's a mission we have in Toronto in our large library. It's also LEED certified building. On your left is the largest hotel in Canada, 1,590 rooms. Hello. And that's downtown Toronto's only indoor water slide. So that's the largest hotel in Canada and Toronto's only indoor water slide. Downtown. This is the largest residential building in Canada. It is a 79-story building. It is in Aura. The bottom floor is an IKEA store, which is downtown Toronto's only IKEA store. Careful branches, so you have to remain seated. So you have to remain seated while the bus is moving for your safety. Also careful branches. On your left, this is College Park. College Park was supposed to be 38 stories tall, but it was built during the Great Depression, so it's only 7 floors high. Do not let that discourage you. There is an auditorium where Francis Sinatra as well as the National Ballet of Canada have been performed. So everybody upstairs is song number 200. On your left, that's Fire Hall number 3, one of our oldest fire stations in Toronto. The clock tower is where firefighters behind their work to fly and start fires. Can anyone guess what happened to Fire Hall number 3? It burned down. We don't have special fire. Does anybody know what street this is that we are driving on? What street is this? You don't know? Yes, 3,000 So this street is it used to be the longest street in the world, 1,896 kilometers long. Connected from Lake Ontario, travel down here for 7 days, you would get to Minnesota on driving on. Because a small part of the street became a highway, so it is no longer street in the world, but it's very famous. In 2019, the Toronto Raptors won the championship for the first time. And English-speaking theater destination in the world. That's why you'll see a lot of plays in our city, a lot of advertising for plays in our city. There was a gentleman named Ed Murmish who built most of our theaters in Toronto, and he always employed Canadian actors in the productions. That's why most of our theaters are sort of associated with the Murmish Productions. In fact, Harry Potter and the First Child is staying in the Edinburgh Theatre, but that's where the Princess of Wales Theatre is the English Theatre. And coming up shortly, we'll also see the CAA Theatre. It's a smaller theatre. By the way, guys, oh, you live there? On your right, that's the CAA Theatre, and then I'll just tell you one by up ahead on your right, that's Postal Station F, one of our oldest postal stations in the city of Toronto. It is now a McDonald's. That's the Ontario Heritage Act. See the tiny inside, you can put up the McDonald's, that's the outside. This really tall building is the one floor. It is the 76-story building and it is residential. Do you know how I know it is residential? The balconies on the building. If there's balconies, it means it's residential. If there's no balconies, it means it's commercial. There are exceptions to the rule, but that's the rule of it. Is anyone getting off at stop 3, Yorkville? Stop 3, Yorkville. Nobody upstairs. Look at those sidewalks on your right. These sidewalks are made of Mongolian granite. Perfect noise, pitch, and resonancy for high-heel shoes. So if you own why? So the big piece on your left is called the big piece. That is more effective outdoor shopping. One of our 3 large libraries in Toronto. If you are a fan of Sherlock Holmes, the entire collection of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle can be found in the library and all contained within a room assigned to the famous hip-hop artist The Weeknd filmed the music video scene in this library. The architect of this library, Raymond Moriyama, described the atrium as his perfection. It's one of his favorite pieces of architecture. These trees on your right are where Yorkville's Town Hall would have been located. Can anyone guess what happened to Yorkville's Town Hall? Be careful of branches on your right. This is Yorkville's fire station, the oldest fire station in Toronto. There used to be a rumor that modern fire trucks cannot fit in there because they're too big. Be careful of branches. But that's not true. Even a 40-foot long aerial fire truck can fit in there with a ladder extending 109 feet. On your right is the Four Seasons Hotel and Residence, founded by
Toronto City Tour. Yes, Toronto City
Tour. He was an architecture student at Toronto Metropolitan University. He was working on a motel for his friend on the outskirts of the city, and he was inspired to start his own brand. The Four Seasons.
Corporate SMP Tours and Travels in your car.
We are now in Yorkville. Yorkville is actually one of our most luxury neighborhoods in the city. Very upper scale, very posh. Boutique stores, and you will know you are in an upper class neighborhood. But this used to be the artistic center of our city. Neil Young used to perform here with his original band, the Squires. Joni Mitchell used to perform here almost every weekend, and Ernest Hemingway would ride at a cafeteria in this neighborhood. But the neighborhood has changed today. On your left is the Busateri's grocery store. You can buy New York strip loin steak, Wagyu beef, and a bag of coffee for $600 a pound.
$600.
I don't know about you guys, but I think Starbucks and Tim Hortons restaurants look a lot better right now.
Alright.
You will notice the city college luxury boutique stores, and you will notice you are in Yorkville. They were inspired by Bob Dylan and the Rolling Stones in the US. So Yorkville was easily central once upon a time, but today residential and commercial properties have changed the nature of this neighborhood. On your right, you will see the flagship Chanel store, that yellow brick building. That's where the original location of the Mount Sinai Hospital is located.
Oh.
Back in the day, 4 Jewish women immigrants collected funds from Torontonians to build their first hospital. The present location is the health district. Is anybody getting off at stop 4, the Royal Ontario Museum?
The Royal
Stop
Ontario.
4, the Royal Ontario Museum. Nobody upstairs, but just an important announcement. Stop number 8, the Royal Ontario Museum, is also like that's normally our bus stop to get off there. It is closed today. So if you guys want to get off at the ROM, this is your only chance to do so. Anyone for stop 4, Royal Ontario Museum, Park Hyatt, ROM, nobody upstairs, Hardik. On your right, this is the Hazelton Hotel. This place became especially popular during the Toronto International Film Festival. Tom Hanks has been spotted having breakfast at this restaurant over here. You're not even allowed in the lobby unless you have a reservation. That's our exclusive. Has anyone seen the TV show Suits? So just be careful filming, because like for me, I don't mind, but just be careful. Some people may not want to film, so just be a little bit special. Suits, that archway behind you is where they filmed the outside of Jessica Pearson's house. Inside the TV show Suits, so whenever her chauffeur picks her up, they film it over there. If you haven't seen the TV show Suits, just know it meant a lot to Torontonians, because those actors made Toronto their home for 9 years. And apart from the pilot, which was filmed in New York City, most of it was filmed entirely in the city of Toronto. The Royal Ontario Museum, the 5th largest museum in North America. The entrance is called the Michael Beach in Crystal, named after Jamaican businessman Michael Beach. To build this entrance. The whole thing cost $270 million to build. It is not a cheap entrance at all.
The Royal Ontario Museum.
On your left, Shania Twain, Ryan Reynolds, Gordon Lightfoot, and Carly Rae Jepsen all graduated from this school. Careful, branches coming up on your right. Careful, branches. The North American football team for the University of Toronto. Is anybody in NFL or Super Bowl fan on the bus? Well, we have some bragging rights for y'all. Our team has the highest, longest consecutive record of losses. From 2001 to 2008, we lost 49 games in a row. The next September, we won our first game against the Warriors. We lost our entire season. Guys, there are branches coming up. Everybody, please remain seated and feel free to shield your faces if you want. It is a little bit. One more branch, one more set of branches. Please be careful, please be careful, please be careful. We're sorry guys, we can't navigate it because of the construction on the road. We've complained to the city, but it still hasn't come. I guess we should. A philanthropist and a businesswoman who love to gather some responsible for designing the National Museum of Saudi Arabia, the museum that is in Japan, and the Historic Pacific Center. We are coming to a street right now spelled S-P-A-D-I-N-A. Is that pronounced Spadina or Spadina? Anyone for Team Spadina? Anyone for Team Spadina? Okay, well, both answers are correct, but let me tell you why. You said Spadina, that's the correct name of the street today. The city of Toronto actually had a vote and we officially called it Spadina. The TTC calls it Spadina, people call it Spadina, but if you said Spadina, back in the day you would have been considered the upper class of society. tidy. It is because the name comes from the indigenous Ojibwe word Ishpadina, which means a sudden rise in land or a hill.
Okay.
People who were more educated, a bit wealthier, called Ishpadina themselves Emiliano! Every time I see him, I do that. Anyway, they wanted to distinguish themselves from the crowd, so they would call it Padina to show their upper class roots. However, as time moved on, the working class outnumbers the upper class. Spadina is the name that stuck, and we actually had a vote in the city of Toronto. What should we call it? And we all said Spadina. So that little trend of discerning yourself, but honestly, most people will call it Spadina. This depends on what circles you're in. Yeah, upper class.
SMP tours and travels.
But unlike Yorkville, these buildings are the signed up. The residents of the annex formed a committee to preserve the history of this neighborhood. And to be frank with you, the more glamorous parts of the annex are not on our bus tour and on the other side of Casanova. But make no mistake, the author of the Handmaid's Tale lived in the annex. Rachel McAdams from the Notebook lived in the annex, and Timothy Eaton, the founder of the Eaton Center, lived in the annex as well. There are many U of T students and professors who live here, so you'll see a lot of brats and sororities in the annex. Up ahead, that tower in the distance is Castle Loma, one of our most famous tourist attractions in the city of Toronto. Remember when I said Ishpadina means a rising land or a hill? Sir Henry Cullen, the gentleman, in 1905, he walked up the rising land, saw Lake Ontario around him, and fell in love with its beauty. He decided to buy many plots of land and build his wife's gift. The gift was Castle Loma, with 98 rooms, 30 bathrooms, 25 fireplaces, 5.5 acre garden, 2 secret passageways, 10 lines, artisans, and it was not a cheap gift. Many movies have actually been filmed at Castle Loma. The X-Men movies were filmed at Castle Loma. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World was filmed at Castle Loma. Jackie Chan's Tuxedo was filmed at Castle Loma, and Love Movie starring Jessica Alba and Mike Myers was filmed at Castle Loma. One private residence in Canada, and Sir Henry Pellet's wife was a huge humanitarian who founded the Girl Guides of Canada. That's the Canadian version of the Girl Scouts of the US. Guys, we're going underneath a bridge. Please remain seated and be very careful. It's a bit of a low bridge, alright? All clear, Harvey, all clear. Just a little bit careful. A little bit bridge. For your safety, sorry. Is anybody getting off at stop 5, Castle Loma? It is closed at 5 o'clock, just gonna lay that out there. Is anyone still getting off at stop 5, Castle Loma? Okay, nobody upstairs. I have a strong be here a couple of minutes once we get to stop 5. Anyway, the first entrance of Castle Loma is up ahead. You do not have to use those steps if you don't want to get to Castle Loma, but that is a famous filming location. In the movie Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the scene where Chris Evans falls off his skateboard was filmed at that staircase. There's an impressive 10-foot high wall that surrounds Castle Loma with an interesting story behind it. Sir Henry Pellet made a promise to residents of Toronto. If you bring me a stone to build my wall, I will pay you a full day's worth of wages. Residents came from far and wide, as promised. On your right, this 10-foot high wall was selected by residents of Toronto. There was a young boy named John Tommy Village, be careful of branches, who came with a white stone. The builders rejected the stone because it was odd and out of place. But eventually, Sir Henry Pellet discovered a young boy and agreed to put the white stone into the wall. If you look on your right, as the wall turns in, the white stone can be seen in the corner of the wall over there, protected by the foliage. And that footpath is how you would go up and take a right to get to Castle Loma the easy way. Just give us a couple of seconds. the best view, but if you come here in the fall or the winter, all the leaves fall off. We call it the Disney Castle. There is Scottish, Norman, Greenish, Irish, and Italian influence on the architecture of Casa Loma. Sir Henry Pellet did lose a lot of his money in later years of his life. There were many reasons for this. Casa Loma was way over budget, he made a lot of bad investments, and a lot more. I'll talk about it right now. Everybody, please remain seated. Do not stand up. We are going underneath the bridge. Everybody, please remain seated. All clear, harness. All clear. So Sir Henry Pellet made a lot of bad investments. Casa Loma was over budget. His wife passed away, which was a big emotional breaking outcome. Ever since then, it's been one of the most important places of history and a public museum. Is anybody getting off at stop 6, Spadina and Bloor? Is anyone getting off at stop 7, the Bada Shoe Museum? Okay, nobody for stop 6, Spadina and Bloor Harnick, and nobody for stop 7, Bada Shoe Museum. If you want to go to the Bada Shoe Museum, you have to get off at stop 6, so make sure that you're not getting off there. Have you guys ever seen a subway station that looks like a house? Today you will see one. On your left, that's an extension of the Spadina station that does not look just like a house, almost like any other in the annex. This was a famous dating location in the 70s. Many women would bring first dates over there if they were not satisfied with their date. The guy would be like, well, I had a great time, when can I see you again? And she'd say, you know what, just hold that thought, I'll be right back. She'd go inside and ride a subway as far away as possible, and the poor guy would never see her again. Little bit harsh, but easy to do back then. There was no DTC sign outside. On your right is the Native Canadian Centre of Toronto, a friendship centre set up for the Indigenous community. Invites people from the public to witness the events and if appropriate partake as well. Have you guys seen the new Barbie movie which came out a couple weeks ago? Nice. We are going to pass by the high school where Sulu graduated. On your right is the Mal Nadal Jewish Community Center, the only community center in Toronto with a saltwater pool, except for me. And even though it says Jewish Community Center, a membership is open to different backgrounds. On the right is Koreatown down there. It's a very vibrant neighborhood, and you've seen all there is to see downtown Toronto. That's not too far. A lot of bars, a lot of karaoke, and there's a church which has weekly events like a weekly salsa night, a weekly sports event, different things to like meet people. On your right, this is the University of Toronto Schools. Enroll students from grade 7 to grade 12. Only 25% of applicants in grade 7 getting there. And the actor Simu Liu was one of them, so he's a very big player. On your left, people keep asking what that is. This is going to be affordable housing, but because of the Ontario Heritage Act, we have to protect that church like infrastructure because we're not allowed to touch it.
SMP tourism.
Up ahead on your right is the Bada Shoe Museum. The Bada Shoe Museum has a lot of interesting collections that have passed through the walls over the years. We have seen pre-Victorian loafers, Victorian platform boots, Elvis Presley loafers, ancient Egyptian sandals, and socks made of vegetable fiber and human hair. They're not there anymore. These are all rotational collections, but they've all been largest collection of Roman artifacts in Canada, receives 1 million visitors a year, but my favorite collection can be seen from the outside of the museum. If you look at your right into the crystal, hey look, it's us, we're the best collection of the entire museum. Also, if you look really closely, there's a skeleton of a dinosaur down there, but it's hard to see real. Come back here at night. On your left is Queen's Park, named after Queen Victoria. There is a tree from every part of the province of Ontario planted within this park. Technically, it's property of the University of Toronto, but they have leased it to the City of Toronto on a 999-year lease at $1 per year. Just so everybody's on the same page, we are now, we have other buses after us, 2-3 more buses, but all of our buses are going to end the journey all the way to stop number 1, Yonge and Dundas Square, and end for the day. So if you guys are planning to go beyond stop 1, maybe make some arrangements, because at stop 1, all of our, you get a tax incentive to film here. The higher the ratio of Canadians in your film crew, the better the tax incentive. Once we pass by the signal on Tim's office, it's one of our 3 large libraries. We have the ULC Walmart Library, York University's Cost Library, and the Toronto Records Library. Once you pass by this area, on your right, you'll notice the signs look like a turkey or peacock Walmart Library. Now, Queen's Park is a popular protest location because it's so change happens in the province of Ontario. In Canada, we don't have states, we have provinces. So for the province of Ontario, our premier operates out of this building. When building this building, we were instructed to use as much Canadian material as possible. So we commissioned big stands from Orange, Building, Red Divide, and Canada. When we call this the Big Palace, we built it. Skyscrapers are not allowed to be built behind the Ontario Legislative Building. It is to preserve the panoramic view from the front. Both of the wings are not symmetrical because something happened to one of the wings of the Ontario Legislative Building. Can anybody guess what happened to one of the wings of the Ontario Legislative Building? Yes, it caught on fire. Like I said before, we don't have the best relationship with fires. The architect that designed Castle Noma, E.J. Lennox, worked for the wing. So yeah, skyscrapers are not allowed behind the behind you. That's the best view of the building, the Ontario Legislative Building. We are now entering the Health District of Toronto. Up ahead on your left is the Toronto General Hospital. In 1921, the first clinical use of insulin to treat diabetes in the world was conducted at Toronto General Hospital. In 1950, the first external pacemaker in the world for an open heart resuscitation was used in the Toronto General Hospital. In 1983, the first single lung transplant in the world was at Toronto General Hospital. And in 1986, the first double lung transplant in the world was also at Toronto General Hospital. Why it has one of the business stores, not just on the Toronto, but the entire world. On your right, moving up, you will see the Princess Margaret Cancer Research Center. Its mission is to conquer cancer in our lifetime, and as of 2017, $1.5 billion cancer research program. This green-colored building on your right. One of the top 5 cancer research centers. Up ahead on your right, that is the Mount Sinai Hospital. Remember in Yorkville, I said the Chanel store was the original Mount Sinai. This is the present Mount Sinai location. They employ language
SMP tourism.
language. They will hire a translator out of the It's said that they do that because back in the day, the Jewish counterpart didn't find out their work in Yiddish, so they built the Sick Kids Hospital, dedicated to child healthcare and child healthcare research. If you ever see window washers at the Sick Kids Hospital, you will be lucky. Many times they dress up as superheroes. You might get to see Wolverine or Batman or Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, Black Widow, washing windows, and even fighting crime. Did you guys know Wolverine is Canadian? If you read the comic books, before he's Weapon X fighting alongside the X-Men, Logan J. Haldon was born in Alberta. There was actually a petition to erect a statue of Wolverine outside the municipal building. It didn't pass, but we'll discuss at some point. Do you guys know? No, the normal way. People know you are not from the city. The locals do not say Toronto, just say Toronto and you pass off to the local or at least. Careful of branches upcoming. Please be careful of branches. I repeat, please be careful of these branches coming up. We'll do our best to avoid them, but like I said. If you're ever gonna stand up, guys, please don't stand up now. We're gonna pass underneath these wires. There's a lot of electrons flowing between them and whatever touches them, so it will be a shocking experience. Not only that, you get fined by the city of Toronto for every volt of electricity that enters your body. It is because you are stealing electricity from the city of Toronto. Up ahead on your right, the art. The glass and timber structure. The captain called the Italia, Art Gallery of Ontario has over 95,000 artworks spanning a time period of 2,000 years. It was by the restaurant and also there's a tour guide named Craig. He talks about his ladies used to come there and then they used to sneak across the street to grab a drink at that bar. I don't know if it's true, but Craig's a pretty good, well-researched tour guide. So if you guys ever see Craig the tour guide, ask him, hey, we heard that you said something about guns and it's in a redemption. So I don't know. I don't know if it's true, but he's pretty good at research. Kind of been impressed with that. Apparently, the elephant is supposed to be jump on the elephant. And Arctic, we do have people for stop times in Geo, Chinatown, Chemical Market. If you want to go to Chinatown in this direction, Chemical Market is also there. You can, yeah, I guess one second almost there. You are now safe to get off stop 9, AGO, China.
So kati bwengamba hop off, hop on, kati abo boolaba awo bagenda kulinnya kitegeeza tiketi yaabwe eri okay. Kati ffe kwe tuli avaako n'addako kye bayita hop on hop off.
SMP 2000.
I gotta ask a question. Just if anyone wants to get to Union Station or the Fairmont Hall Park, there are 2 ways to go there. CN Tower North is coming up. That's a 7-minute walk to both. Hockey Hall of Fame is a 5-minute walk to both. So both of them get you to the Fairmont or Union Station. Up ahead, this is the CN Tower. The CN Tower is a radio and telecommunications tower which services 16 Canadian TV channels and radio stations.
Yeah?
The CN used to stand for the Canadian National Tower because the Canadian National Railway was involved in building this. But in the 90s, another organization called the Canada Land Group took over. So it used to be the Canadian National Tower, but today it's called Canada's National Tower, in case you're wondering what the CN stands for. Now, once we turn over here, we're going to see a very cool art installation by OCAD students. It's breaking out of the wall over there. So you'll see the CTV sign, and underneath it, you'll see a car smashing out of the wall. That is an art installation by OCAD students called Breaking News. Breaking Out News Building. And CP24 is one of our news publications dedicated to breaking news. When the wheels are spinning, it means recording is going on inside the building. That's neat. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
If you guys have ever seen the TV show The Last of Us, and even if you haven't, I just want to divert your attention to that billboard. That is a painted canvas. This is not a printed billboard. OCAD students have painted that poster for the TV show The Last of Us. The QR code does work admittedly, so that could be a separate layer, or maybe they use stencil, I'm not sure. But the rest of it is either been spray painted, gold painted, brush painted, I don't know, OCAD students no more. But our bus goes by here every day. We have to see them in action. I believe they'll change that soon because now it's like fall semester, so they're definitely going to change it soon. We are now of Toronto. This used to be the garment district of Toronto, but there's bars, clubs, restaurants, the bourbon theaters, and the sports stadium all set up shop together. As you enter the unit, it's found in one area, and you get to the entertainment
District of Toronto.
Up ahead on your left, that's the Ballroom Bowl, downtown Toronto's only bowling alley. And on your right is the Scotiabank Arena, downtown Toronto's first Careful of branches right side of the bus. I repeat, careful of branches right side of the bus, just in case. Please be careful right side of the bus, off branches. There might be some more coming up as we go down the street. There are a lot of bars and restaurants now still in the entertainment district, but there are no more clubs. In the area became residential. So the residents complained that the noise was too loud. So they moved clubs to other sides of the city. In fact, if you go to if you go to King Street West, there's some clubs there, and Rebel, the really big one, is all the way. Toronto International Film Festival, for short. This is the largest film festival in North America, and it's the only major movie festival that's open to the public. So movie makers love to screen their movies in front of live audiences before campaigning for their movies worldwide. Notable movies seen at this include Slumdog Millionaire, The Shape of Water, a theater in the city of Toronto, and this is the theater district. Like I said before, after London's West End, after New York's Broadway, Toronto is the third most popular English-speaking theater destination in the world. You know the Sundance Movie Festival? It's a pretty big one in North America, but a lot of the movies are screened in community centers and public libraries. Toronto is outfitted with theaters, the Roy Thompson Music Hall, and the specifically engineered Tifka light bulbs, which just helps enhance the experience, for different celebrities come out here. Okay, so we are now coming to CN Tower North, and then after that is CN Tower South. A lot of people ask which one is the one to the CN Tower. If you want to get off at the CN Tower, it's better to stay on the bus till we get to CN Tower South. But if you want to go to Union Station, the Entertainment District, the Fairmont Royal York, it's better to get off in the stop that's coming up called CN Tower North. And if you want to stay on the bus longer, you can stay on till the Hockey Hall of Fame, where that's also possible. But you know what, guys? I just remembered the Hockey Hall of Fame today is actually, the bus stop is closed, so CN Tower North is the best stop to get off. We're going, because otherwise it's a bit far. I forgot. Actually, normally it's the Hockey Hall of Fame. CN Tower North is the best stop. Like, that's the closest you're going to get. On your left, that's the CBC building, which stands for the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, one of our largest news and broadcasting organizations in Canada. The red plus signs are made of rubber because they soundproof the rooms. Famous TV shows like Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader Canada Edition, Deal or No Deal Canada Edition, Family Feud Canada Edition are all filmed at the CBC building. That represents a different audience member you can find during a sporting event. Half of the art installation is on this side of the Rogers Stadium, the other half is on the other side of the Rogers Stadium. They say wherever you are in Toronto, if you can see any face of the audience, one is looking at you directly. We call them the modern day gargoyles. The artist behind this was named Michael Snow. He passed away this January. That's his legacy on the stadium. He's very instrumental in the contemporary Toronto art scene. Like, some people love him, some people hate him because he has a little bit of like a very graphic art. But everyone agrees that he did help revitalize and bump up a lot of art in the last years. We will be stopping over there. Just give us a couple minutes, but if we might be here a couple of minutes, so if you want to go to CN Tower, you have two options. You can wait for our bus and we'll drop you in front. If you don't want to wait at all for us, you can also walk across the bridge. You'll be there in 3 minutes or so. It's completely up to you. We will go to the CN Tower anyway. We'll just be here for a couple of minutes before we do. We're slightly ahead of schedule. But for the Fairmont, for Union Station, if you don't want to wait to be dropped over to CN Tower, we are now in CN Tower North, Front Street. And this is the stop you can get off at. It is safe to get off the bus for CN Tower.
Okay, no microphone bwabogera mutuwulirira. So kati badde batugamba nti kati wano we tuli gye bayita Tower North. So abaagala okuvaamu bavaamu, abaagala okugenda mu entertainment center biki byonna, kati abaagala okugenda ku CN Tower eri gye bayita CN Tower South. Era n'obwokola bwoti yeeyo. Tower North. Yes. Tower North.
That side did not exist 70 years ago. It was just harsh swamplands, Lake Ontario, industrial buildings, that would be it. We'll talk more about that once we're actually on that side. But on your right, this is the Metro Toronto Convention Center. Largest exhibition space in Canada. Not in Canada, in Toronto. Graduation ceremonies, Comic-Con, business events, all take place in this building. That building over there is the Intercontinental Hotel Toronto. This is the only building where we can host a US president. Barack Obama and Bill Clinton both stayed at the Intercontinental Hotel Toronto because the presidential room is full.
Oh.
Up ahead over there is the Fairmont Royal York. That's the corner of the Fairmont Royal York. That used to be the largest hotel in the British Empire once upon a time. Today it's where the royal family stays when they come to the city of Toronto. You can rent out the royal chambers for $2,000 a night, but they will make you sign an agreement. If any member of the royal family shows up, you must leave. And they don't reimburse you for the money spent. Okay guys, we're going underneath the bridge. Please remain seated. Hold on to your hats. It can get windy down here, but just please be careful. All clear, Hardik. All clear. Coming up on your right, it is the one, it is the only CN Tower. 553 meters high, 1,815 feet high. This used to be the highest building in the world, and then Burj Khalifa came around and topped that record. It takes 58 seconds to ride the elevator to the top, and if you're feeling energetic, 1,776 steps. If you see this black pillar with the birds on it, this area, as I said before, was harsh swamplands in the past. Those birds were indigenous to the area before this became land came about. There's an activity on top of the CN Tower called the Edge Walk, which is exactly what it sounds like. They harness you to the edge of the CN Tower and make you walk around. There's two demographics of people this is popular with: young adults aged 18 to 25 and women over the age of 80. Those are the two territories. The Toronto Raptors play ball over there and the Maple Leafs play hockey over there. Is anyone getting off at CN Tower South? Ripley's Aquarium? Alright, just give us a couple moments and we'll let you know when we're at the bus stop and it's safe for you. On your right, this is the Ripley's Aquarium of Canada, largest underground viewing tunnel in North America and more than 20,000 aquatic animals. Hardik, we have people for CN Tower South. On your left is the Toronto Railway Museum. This is an outdoor railway museum in the city of Toronto. This used to be the roundhouse of Toronto. It's basically trains, they used to come here. We would move them in a circular fashion and run maintenance between the trains. And it would be converted to become an outdoor railway museum. I'm not sure what it is, but
Oh. Thank you. Had a good drive. Thank you. All right.
you can keep it in there, sir. It's
Same
totally
place
fine.
you took the bus? Dundas Square?
Dundas Square.
First bus leaves 9 o'clock from there.
All right.
Yeah, and you can ride what time you got ticket. Till that time, you can ride.
All right.
It's good for 24 hours.
Oh, the ticket runs for 24 hours.
24 hours.
So tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock,
Yes.
you can start riding again.
But make sure you don't lose the physical ticket because they're very strict about the ticket, so you must not lose
No,
it.
he got cash.
Thank you for great drive and experience. All right.
No, thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Good trip.
Finally, we are back at CN Tower, the second time in a period of 2 months. SMP Tours and Travels Limited. As I told you people, wana wantu ndoza mu Canada wonna wensinga okwagana Niagara Falls nga nze era wenzija mu Toronto ne ntajja wano kitegeeza mba ndi mu kifo kikyamu mu Canada. Okitegedde? Yeah. This is the area. The aquarium. That aquarium mugiraba yiiyaawo njabba twalamu ngenda kubambusa eyo waggulu mukantako kemulaba ako kemukulaba gye ngenda okwambuka eyo waggulu. Yes, bagiyita Hotel 360 awo wali tickets wengenda okuyitira. As per now, laba a great musician, young lad, young talented. Yeah. CN Spider-Man. Wow. Wembaga mama bagambye byonna tujja bituukako la CN Tower, hey, la SMP. SMP Tours and Travels Limited. Yeah, tujja baleetanga wano CN Tower every year. Kijja kubangawo buli mwaka. Days, Canada Easter Tour, Canada Niagara Falls Fest, Canada Summer Holidays. As an event start to the tegeka buli mwaka. So right now to registration ya Canada 6 days Canada Easter Tour. Wano wende mutwa kyendemu ebayita Canada National Tower, la CN Tower. Era bwe muva mugira abayeyo